What's up, everyone? It's Ben from the Vinyl Jukebox, and it's that time of year where I'm getting into the Halloween spirit. So I'm going to show you my top 10 Halloween vinyl picks for my collection. But before we get started, please be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. So starting things off in no particular order, I don't think that you could go a Halloween without hearing one of my favorites, Monster Mash by Bobby Boris Pickett. This one is a classic. This is just a 7-inch copy. It's got Monster Mash Party on the back, which I think is more of a remix, but this is a London Records copy of this. I wish I had the one with the picture sleeve, but this one's pretty cool. Definitely, if you're looking for this record, get it during the off season. Do not get it during the month of October because the prices will be insane. I got this, I think, in June or July one year, and it was $3. So definitely a cool pickup. Awesome to have. Next up, and this is one of my favorites, and I'm usually not a big picture disc person, although I don't know if you could consider this a picture disc. This is the Kraft Recordings. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown soundtrack on a pumpkin-shaped vinyl. So really cool. This includes the original soundtrack recording. It also includes just a few alternate takes. Really cool part of my collection. I think that they also released a regular version of this record, but I honestly love the pumpkin shape. I think it sounds great. Kraft always does a great job. And this is just a fantastic recording. So not usually a big picture disc person. Don't think you could consider this a picture disc. Definitely a novelty for sure, but love this one. Always an essential during this time of year for sure. Next up now, not a Halloween record per se, but definitely spooky. This is the Cramps Bad Music for Bad People. This is a compilation that they released on IRS Records, and definitely my favorite Cramps record to play. It's got, I mean, you can't really call them hits, but they're big songs. Garbage Man, Goo Goo Muck for sure, Human Fly, and I just love this. This is that psychedelic, spooky surf rock. Definitely sounds great this time of year on Halloween. All right, next up, and this is kind of a newer record. A few years ago this came out. This is Rise from the Hollywood Vampires. It's a supergroup featuring Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp, and Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Just a really cool album. It's got some pretty spooky songs on it. Boogeyman Surprise. A few covers on here. Heroes. People Who Died. So they definitely have that, spooky vibe to them on this record. This is their second album, first original studio album, and just really cool to play this time of year. Definitely fits that Halloween vibe for sure. I think this one was pretty underrated. I think it kind of got lost over time. Hopefully Hollywood Vampires comes around again, starts doing some shows again. I thought this was a really great album. I think it got mixed reviews, but I think that it really showcases the best out of all three artists. Johnny Depp even sings on this album. Even Joe Perry sings on this album. He does You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory, the Johnny Thunder song. So definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of those artists for sure. All right, next up, staying with Alice Cooper, the classic Love It to Death. All right, this is the album that features I'm 18. It features Ballad of Dwight Fry, Caught in a Dream. So just those songs alone definitely fit that Halloween vibe. This is the censored cover. All right, that doesn't feature Alice Cooper's finger sticking out of his pants over there. But really cool record. Definitely, I think this might be my favorite Alice Cooper album from the original band. All right, next up, classic Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. All right, featuring the title track with the music video featuring him as the werewolf there. Just a great spin on Halloween. I know Ozzy kind of goes into different modes in his career. Prince of Darkness mode, or his glam mode from the 80s, but this I thought is a really cool album for Halloween. Definitely Diary of a Madman, but if I had to pick one, this one definitely fits the vibe of Halloween with that werewolf cover. All right, next up, my favorite album from one of my favorite punk bands, the Misfits, Walk Among Us. Misfits kind of fit into that horror punk genre, but they do delve into sci-fi and everything. And that's kind of their whole gimmick is, you know, that horror themed punk band. This album's great, featuring 20 Eyes, I Turned Into a Martian, All Hell Breaks Loose, Vampira, just classic songs from the Misfits. This is a 1988 pressing of the album, actually signed by Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein. This is the ticket stub from when I saw them, the reunited original Misfits, at the Prudential Center in New Jersey. But definitely my favorite Misfits album, great vibe for Halloween for sure. And I think Halloween can kind of fit into a few different categories in terms of, like, I think that it works for horror, sci-fi, mystery, those kinds of genres. I think can all fit under that Halloween umbrella for sure. All right, next up, staying with the Misfits here, and I do have a few Misfits albums that could fit, but since this is with a different singer, I figured why not. Misfits' Famous Monsters. Now this one, definitely a lot more poppy. I don't want to say poppy, but definitely catchier songs on this one than the Walk Among Us album. This features Michael Graves as the singer. Famous Monsters, obviously taken from the horror magazine, but featuring a lot of songs inspired by famous horror movies. Crawling Eye here. We've got Kong Unleashed, Kong at the Gates, you know, King Kong themed. Scream, probably one of their biggest hits. Saturday Night, probably the Misfits' biggest hit, if I had to say. I didn't look at any stats or anything, but Saturday Night, definitely a big sing-along song. Helena is a great one. This album, not sure if they did a repress recently of this, but this is the music on vinyl version. This is pretty hard to find now. When I picked it up, was pretty common. But this album's another one that came out in 99, I want to say. So definitely the time where they weren't pressing a lot of records. So the original copies of that definitely go for a lot. All right, next up we have, and this is my second to last one. This is the 9th one. I haven't even been counting here. This is Rob Zombie's The Lunar Injection. I have to read it off of here because I can't remember this. The Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy. If you guys have been following Rob Zombie over recent years, he's been coming up with extremely long album titles that are hard to remember and say. I don't even know if he remembers them. But this is his most recent album. That's why I picked it. I have a few Rob Zombie albums, but this one definitely in his recent albums, he's been getting into a little more of the, he's been a little more inspired by, well, actually, I don't even want to say that because all of his albums kind of, have that horror influence to them. But this one's kind of right up front. Eternal Struggles of the Howling Man, Crow Killer Blues, Triumph of King Freak. I love his music recently. It has a little tinge of comedy in it, which, if you're a horror fan, I think all the best horror movies can be a bit comedic as well. But this one's just an awesome album. I thought he did a really great job with this. And this one, I guess, will prove to be the last one with John Five, as John Five has moved on to become the lead guitar player of Motley Crue. So wrapping this all up, I could have picked any of this band's albums, but I think the spookiest of this band's albums, Black Sabbath, their self-titled debut album, featuring the title track right off the bat on this album, Black Sabbath, one of the spookiest, scariest tracks of all time. Even the album cover with that haunting image there. Definitely great to play on Halloween. We have NIB, The Wizard on here. Just a classic album from Black Sabbath. Wicked World. All right, this is I don't know exactly what year this pressing is from. This is a mid-70s pressing on the Warner Brothers label. But really cool and really great to listen to on Halloween. All right, everybody, so there you have it. Those are my top 10 Halloween vinyl picks. And please let me know in the comments below, what do you love to listen to on Halloween? What are your top vinyl picks? What have you been listening to? And have you done anything fun this Halloween season lately. I know that yesterday, my wife and I, we went over to a fall festival up in upstate New York. They had a lot of spooky stuff going on there. We're probably gonna end up at a haunted house or two at some time or another. So that'll be a lot of fun. But what are you guys doing this Halloween? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, please, please, please remember to subscribe to my channel, leave a like and a comment, share the video, all that good stuff. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.